Hi, my name's Rebecca. Welcome to my channel. Today we're going over my summer book haul. I have been pretty good this year about not buying too many books, but something about this summer I've just let myself indulge just a little bit. Each time has been because I physically walked into the store, saw some books that are on my pretty immediate TBR, they were on sale, and so I picked them up. First up is The Girls by Emma Cline. This is set in the 70s in the San Francisco Bay Area. This teenager, Evie, runs into this group of girls in the park and soon finds out that they are the girls from the Manson family. And she's very intrigued by just like their demeanor. They seem to have like an effervescence about them, and she wants to belong. And so she spends her summer trying to prove to them that she's just as cool as them and can be in their circle. Obviously, being set in this time and being the Manson family, who knows what proving herself is going to mean. I have tried to look at as very few reviews of this book as possible because I didn't want to have any preconceived notions going into it, but I'm intrigued to see how this goes, and I am interested in this perspective in particular of someone from the outside and what made them gravitate towards this group. On that same shopping trip, I picked up Tress of the Emerald Sea by Brandon Sanderson. I have mentally made a concerted effort to read two genres specifically more frequently on the second half of the year, and fantasy is one of them. I had a really good experience with Warbreaker. It is one of the few standalone novels I know that Brandon Sanderson has ever written that I don't think had anything to do with the Cosmere world, which is where most of his books are set. This follows Tress, who has never left her island before, and the sea that she has to voyage across to find her lost love could kill her, or really I think anyone on their ship, with just a drop of water, which is intense to say the least. Something happened to Charlie, who is her friend and I believe long lost love, and then her father, who went on this voyage with him. And so Tress stows away on a ship, and the rest is what it is. I have no idea. Another book that I tried to look at as little as possible because I would like to be surprised along the way. Heavy by Kiese Layman. I have heard such great things about this book and his writing, and I haven't read very much nonfiction this year. I normally read maybe 7 to 8 throughout a year, and I've only read 2, so it's time to catch up. These are essays about Kiese Layman's relationship with his family, his weight, sex, gambling, and writing. It says it's a defiant and vulnerable and insightful. It says heavy names, secrets Layman spent a lifetime avoiding, and asks all of us to confront the terrifying possibility that few of us know how to responsibly love. I'm excited about this. I know it's going to be tough, partly because I don't even think this comes in at 250 pages. Yeah, it ends around 225. And I have seen snippets of Kiese Layman's writing and have liked it, but have known that like it's going to be something I go through slowly. So I'm excited to read that. I also picked up the Atlas 6 on that trip. Again, trying to lean into the fantasy. There's something about a group facing challenges together and knowing that the 6 of them in theory are going to be together throughout the whole book that really intrigued me. It says each decade only the 6 most uniquely talented magicians are selected to earn a place in the Alexandrian Society, the foremost secret society in the world. The chosen will secure a life of power and prestige beyond their wildest dreams, but at what cost? Each of the 6 newest recruits has their reasons for accepting the society's elusive invitation, even if it means growing closer than they could have imagined to their most dangerous enemies, or risking unforgivable betrayal from their most trusted allies. They will fight tooth and nail for the right to join the ranks of the Alexandrians, even if it means they won't all survive the year. Which sounds intense. Something about that synopsis reminded me of Scythe by Neil Shusterman. I ate up that trilogy, and I wanted to see an adult perspective on a similar setup with me. So, excited to try this out. Next we have The School of Good Mothers by Jessamine Chan. This is a society taking a hyper-realistic interest in motherhood, and maybe not in a great way. This follows a mom who is struggling. Her husband has been having an affair, and she can't get him to pay any attention to her. And now she has her daughter, whose name I believe is Frida. Or no, she's Frida. Her daughter's name is Harriet. And it says, one day, Frida's having a very bad day, and the state has eyes on mothers like Frida, the ones who check their phones, letting their children get injured on the playground, the ones who let their children walk home alone. Because of one moment of poor judgment, a host of government officials will now determine if Frida is a candidate for a big brother-like institution that measures the success or failure of a mother's devotion. So Frida may get sent to the School of Good Mothers, all because she had a bad day. I can't wait to see what the commentary is on our judgment of mothers, especially in this day and age. I feel like no one's doing anything right, and the ones who look perfect are not perfect because no one is. Yeah, I'm highly interested. I haven't read very much literary fiction this year. Would love to dive into that, and this is another short one, so this sounds like it could be a very good weekend read that I take kind of slowly. I'm sure there'll be some notes, some tabs. It sounds like a good time. Next we have Cleopatra and Frankenstein by Coco Mellers. This is a look at a age gap marriage of convenience, but this is not a romance novel. This is literary fiction. It follows Cleo, who is a British painter. She's 24 and she's escaped England to come to New York. And she's still trying to find her place when she meets Frank right before her student visa ends. Frank's 20 years older than her. He's a self-made success. And it says his life is full of all the excesses Cleo's lacks. He offers her a chance to be happy, the freedom to paint, and the opportunity to apply for a green card. But their impulsive marriage changes their lives and the lives of those around them in ways they never could have predicted. While Cleo struggles with depression and Frank with drinking, Cleo's best friend tries to embrace his gender identity in the wake of her marriage, and Frank's financially dependent sister arranges sugar daddy dates after being cut off. Ultimately, this chance meeting between two strangers changes everything for better or worse. As hilarious as it is heartbreaking, entertaining as it is deeply moving, Cleopatra and Frankenstein is a painfully relatable debut about the spontaneous decisions and imperfect relationships that shape entire lives. I love the idea of a butterfly effect, a moment in time, a quick decision, changing everything about your life or those around you. And this sounds exactly like that. Sounds like it's gonna be chaotic and messy, but maybe kind of beautiful too. I have seen a lot of art copies going around of, I believe it's called Four Sisters or The Sisters. It's her next book coming out this fall. And I decided to pick this up because it was on the buy one, get one half off table at Barnes & Noble. And I was like, I'm gonna give this a shot, see if I enjoy the writing and the storytelling before I dive into the hype that is Four Sisters. As a romance reader, I am embarrassed that I still haven't read 7 Days in June by Tia Williams, but here we are, and it's finally going to happen. So this is set in New York. It follows Ava Mercy, who's a single mom, and she's a best-selling erotica writer who is feeling pressed from all sides. And then we have Shane Hall, who is a reclusive, award-winning novelist, whom to everyone's surprise shows up in New York. When Shane and Ava meet unexpectedly at a black literary event, sparks fly. But what no one knows is that 15 years earlier, teenage Ava and Shane spent one crazy torrid week, madly in love, and have been secretly writing to each other in their books ever since. Excuse me? Let's go. I love an epistolary look at a relationship or a friendship. Love when you get to see text messages or letters back and forth, but I am expecting excerpts of their books. Cannot wait. It says, over the next 7 days, amidst a steamy Brooklyn summer, Ava and Shane reconnect. But Ava's wary of the man who broke her heart. Before Shane disappears again, she needs a few questions answered. With its keen observations of creative life in America today, as well as the joys and complications of being a mother and a daughter, 7 Days in June is a hilarious, romantic, and sexy as hell story of two writers discovering their second chance at love. You know what? Before I let go, I was not really a second chance romance reader, but Kennedy Ryan changed something in me, and now I want to try them all. And I've heard incredible things about Tia Williams' writing. I tried to actually read her most recent release that came out in like March maybe or February, and it just wasn't the right time. My brain was doing that thing where it was like, you don't want to read this, even though I very much did. So I'm going to give this a shot and then maybe pick that up again. Alright, we are down to the last book, and funnily enough, this is kind of runs parallel to the first book I talked about. This is Bright Young Women by Jessica Knoll. Yes, by Jessica Knoll. And this is the flip side to the Manson family. Same setup, except instead of it being a teenager being encapsulated by the women of the Manson family, these are survivors. We follow Pamela Schumacher, who is the sorority president and one of the only few people to survive the massacre that happened in the sorority house in Tallahassee at Florida State. And then across the country, we have Tina Cannon, who's convinced her missing best friend was targeted by the man papers refer to as the All-American Sex Killer, and he's struck again. It says, determined to find justice, the two join forces as they search for answers, leads to a final shocking confrontation. I am excited to see how this setup works. I believe they're going to avoid mentioning Manson at all, which is, I think, a great take. We are starting to see that shift in true crime a bit, that's more focused on the lives lost and the victims of these, most of the time, awful men, sometimes women. And I want to see more of that. So I am very interested to see how this goes. I know this was a beloved book last year. It even has a little New York Times book review, 100 notable books of 2023 sticker on it. So clearly it made its rounds, and I'm excited to finally be joining the train. So last but not least, we have a special little surprise from Aardvark Book Club. They kindly reached out to me and asked if they could send me a box, no strings attached, just to see if I would like it. And I'm very thrilled with what I received. So let's take a look. Last week, I got a beautiful surprise DM from Aardvark Book Club asking me if they could send me a free box just for me to take a look at and see if I was interested, with no strings attached. They didn't even ask me to post anything, but honestly, guys, after opening this book box, I could not share it with you. This is the highest quality book box that I have seen at this price that I've personally had experience with, and it's incredible. So let me show you the books. First up is The Truth According to Ember by Danica Neva. This book is taking Instagram and TikTok by storm right now. I can't wait to dive in. I believe it's the first book by a native author, like romance book, picked up by a major publisher, which is super duper cool. I love the hardback. I love that they kept the color scheme, and that really only thing that you can tell it's from a book box is that tiny Aardvark logo on the front and on the hardcover. But otherwise, this is a high quality hardback. Same thing with Bride. Super exceptional quality of the book. If you told me that this thing was $35, I would believe you. Last but not least, we have the book that I'm actually most interested in from this box. It's Rabbit Hole by Kate Brody. This book takes a look at true crime through a mystery thriller lens. This girl's sister has gone missing, and she is obsessed with the Reddit thread that is obsessed with trying to find her sister and what happened to her and potentially who her killer is. So that's it. Thank you so much, Aardvark, for sending me these books. They're incredible. You can sign up right now for your first book box from Aardvark for $4 with code BEACHREAD. Subsequent boxes will be $17.99 if you're in the US or $25.99 if you're in Canada, and that does include free shipping. Keep in mind that you can add 2 additional books each month. Subsequent books are $13.99, which is an exceptional price for a brand new hardback. Head down to my description box for all the links you need to check out Aardvark Book Club. Thank you so much to Aardvark for sending me that gifted box. I honestly can't believe it. That was a very exciting thing for me. Really made my day. I've never had a book box reach out to me before, so I thought that was super cool. And the quality is incredible. So like I mentioned, that first box is discounted. I'm going to put the information below in my description box so that way you can check it out if you're interested. And thank you so much for tuning in. Hit me in the comments if you've read any of these titles or if they're ones that you're looking forward to. And I will see you all in another video soon.